Hey guys, John from ARTV. This is where I break down and review albums for you guys, for your entertainment, and hopefully I help influence your decision on whether you're going to check out the album or skip it. Today I'm going to be talking about the debut album from the singer Banks. The singer's name is Jillian Banks, but she goes by the last name, usually capitalizes Banks, and the name of the album is Goddess. I've been hearing about this since early spring of this year. I got into the singles Brain and even Drowning whenever that was released, and then I kind of held off listening to anything else out of anticipation for this record. Overall, she kind of has this dark electronic R&B flair to her music that kind of early on separated her from her peers. She reminded me a little bit of Lorde, a little bit of Ellie Goulding, just because of the styling of her vocals at times, and I think the way that she approaches some of her subject matter in the music, and just the atmospheric production reminded me a little bit of Lorde. So there are definitely some influences. It's just that the album itself has a problem. It doesn't have its own identity. For the most part, everything feels like it's overshadowed by the influences it's drawing from. I'm hearing everything from Grimes to Ellie Goulding, like I already mentioned, to several other artists, and that comparison isn't just a comparison whenever it's kind of distracting from the music. Overall, I don't feel like Banks really unleashed a style that's unique to her, really, in any way. There's some acoustic songs on here that do kind of highlight Banks's vocals and kind of help her stand out in that regard. She does have that unique voice, but she doesn't really use it to her advantage on the majority of this record. On tracks like Stick, Fuck 'Em Only We Know, she's not doing anything to really mix up the formula here. It's a shame for me, honestly, after enjoying tracks like Drowning, Brain, which were released prior to the album Goddess. And then I just started getting into things, starting with Alibi, kind of this electronic R&B flaring song that really doesn't send any signal to the listener other than that of, well, I've probably heard this before. It kind of feels like a watered down version of something. It's not bad by any means, but it's not pushing any kind of limits. And that's the problem that Goddess has as a whole. There's no fun in playing it safe, and I really feel like that's what a lot of this album was all about. Waiting Game is one that musically just definitely did not do anything for me. The vocals on that one actually sounded very nice, and I like the way that she sung this track and approached the lyrical subject. I think that the idea of love being kind of like this waiting game, and really just a game in general, is fun and kind of fresh, the way that she tackled it especially, but the instrumentation that surrounded it kind of made it the downfall because it kind of had those airy synths and the distant guitar, and it really just was making me drowsy as I listened. When the album gets it right, it really hits the nail on the head. Drowning is a perfect example of what Banks can do as a singer. It's kind of got that vocal sample going on and the kind of delay. A little bit of reverb on the vocals makes things sound nice. Add in that sense of desperation, and you've got the combination for a very, very solid track here on this one. I think the next track that followed that up, though, Begging for Thread, is my overall favorite here on this record. What was done right here on that one is just the use of the guitar. It feels very dark. A lot of this album does have that dark feel and kind of an emotional overtone, but this is actually one that lures the listener in. On Beggin' for Thread, it has one of the most memorable choruses on Goddess. She slows things down on a majority of these tracks. Like I mentioned, she tends to go acoustic at times, and I like kind of the stripped back feel. Someone New is a prime example of what works whenever she does kind of strip away all the synthesizers, some of the vocal effects and that sort of thing, and we just hear Jillian Banks on vocals, just raw and out there. Someone New is very vulnerable. It's one that sees her just pretty much begging, please, please don't be with someone new, don't fall for somebody new. She continues this trend to close out the record with Warm Water and Under the Table, but these two just don't have the same striking charisma that Someone New did. Something about that track actually kind of made itself into something more than just an acoustic ballad. It was something that actually played on people's emotions, and I don't feel like she got that across with the two closing tracks here on Goddess. I'm pretty divided on Goddess, honestly. It kind of drags its feet a lot of the time, kind of makes me a little bit dreary and drowsy. I start daydreaming while I'm listening to parts of it, but there are its engaging moments that make it worth listening to, so I'm going to go with a 3 out of 5 for Goddess. I'm interested to hear what you guys are thinking about the record, so if you've heard it, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this review with a friend, and subscribe to the channel, of course. Show your love for me. We're closing in on 9,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. We're also coming up on my 5th anniversary with this channel, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. September 29th will be my 5-year anniversary with Album Review TV. Thank you guys for continuously watching and supporting the channel. I will see you very soon right here on ARTV Beyond the Reviews. You can always feel free to leave suggestions for future reviews in the comment section down below.